Where have I been this past month? Why I took a break from social media, and what I've encountered on my mental wellness journey. This video is for mature audiences, and my channel is set to 18 and up. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please consider reaching out to the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988 for immediate support. Okay, so we're outside of this facility. I'm gonna go in. It's called... I decided to make these videos for you because I've been struggling. I don't think I'm alone, and I hope that me sharing my journey gives you solace or helps someone you know. I shared online in social media that I was going to take a mental wellness journey in the year 2025. It was time to take my mental wellness seriously, and so that's exactly what I did. Weekly therapy just wasn't enough. 1 hour a week wasn't helping me process the intense emotions I was feeling every day. I knew I needed more, so I made a drastic decision. So I checked myself into a residential therapy treatment facility, and my goal was to stay 30 days. I had never done anything like this before, and honestly, I was terrified. But now that I'm on the other side, I can truly tell you that this was the best decision I ever made for myself. In this video, I'm sharing my experience to hopefully destigmatize mental wellness, talk about how I'm working through burnout, and raise awareness about taking care of your mental health. Mental illness in the U.S. Although mental health remains a significant concern in the United States, with 1 in 5 adults experiencing mental illness, it does remain a taboo subject. As someone who tries to share as openly as possible online, struggling in this way did feel scary for me to share, honestly. Would you guys think that I was weak for feeling overwhelmed by life? Would I be judged for checking out of life for a month? One article I found reported that 1/3 of Americans are gearing up for what they anticipate being their most stressful year yet, predicting that 2025 will be worse than the past 3 years. So with this in mind, I know I'm not alone, and I hope my mental wellness journey helps inspire you to seek the mental care that you might need drastically and you're putting off. We might not all need to check ourselves into a therapy camp, but we might all need some support that we're neglecting to take advantage of. Okay, I'm so nervous about this. I don't want this video to be boring for you guys either, but it's hard because I did write it down and it's in a blog, so you can go read it too. But it's the only way for me to stay on topic and on track and give it to you in like a concise way. So here's my truth about social media and mental wellness. When I started my first skincare channel in 2018, it took off for skincare. It gave me financial freedom and a creative outlet that I did cherish, plus a purpose that highly motivated me. As some are aware, that channel was terminated in the fall of 2021, and I write more detail in a blog linked below. Up to this point, that was the most excruciating point in my life. I was drowning in sorrow and grief. No matter what I did, I couldn't get a resolution with YouTube. And it felt very targeted and filled with wrongful censorship. This was also compounded when I found out our law firm lost their YouTube channel for representing me. And 4 years later, we still don't know what I did to warrant this financial loss and creative abuse. I was inconsolable. And although I had never done this before in my life, I started cutting to ease the intense pain that I felt from no resolution. I'm of course embarrassed by this behavior, but I want to be fully transparent because I feel like my story might help someone else. My family told me that if I didn't stop cutting, they would call the police and have me hospitalized against my will. I would be 5150'd and put on a 72-hour isolation hold. So thankfully I did stop. However, the mental turmoil didn't stop, even though I had stopped the destructive behavior. I'm even afraid that by sharing this, I could potentially lose this channel. But the YouTube loss was the first significant challenge in my mental decline. And the next piece won't make sense unless you understand this foundation. Side note, if you are interested in my skin and wellness community, you can find it linked here in the video and down in the description. And if you like reading, you can find the blog linked below as well. So the YouTube channel was lost in 2021. So now it's a year later, 2022. I finally have a new YouTube channel, Spa and Tell, and I'm happy to be creating again. But PTSD for me is a daily struggle. I wake at all hours of the night checking my channel. I second guess every video I make. I live in fear on an hourly basis that I will be removed again. Get ready to elevate your beauty routine. Join me every week at 10 a.m. Pacific for my Beauty Lives, where we'll dive into microneedling, rejuvenating acid peels, expert scalp care tips, and lots of beauty devices. I'll also share the latest skincare brands and makeup must-haves to keep you glowing year-round. For exclusive insights on injections, weight loss peptides, and more, download my Skin and Wellness app linked in the description below. For additional insight, check out my blog that details each of these beauty lives and any other videos I've shared with you. We are about to go live, so hit that subscribe button now and join the beauty revolution. My vices. So at this point, I start using alcohol and THC gummies to calm my anxiety. And according to the CDC, I am moderately using these substances and I'm not considered an alcoholic. But I find that my mind wants to use them more and always alone. I began isolating, losing touch with friends, and I didn't want to be social. At the same time, my Instagram and TikTok accounts are shadow banned. What once was a thriving social media atmosphere for me has now become a living hell. And I'm working more for very little return. So of course my emotions are just boiling over. I cry almost every day and then go live on a platform just to feel a little bit better. So my life has become an emotional roller coaster. My divorce. Then in 2023, news about my husband surfaced. I don't want to share these details, but needless to say, at this moment, I realize that a divorce is on the horizon. I see daily comments across my platforms of, where is your husband? Or why haven't you been sharing him? Or why didn't he go on a family vacation? All of this was way too much for me to bear. And frankly, I just didn't have the tools to cope with any of these things that life was throwing at me. So I'm spiraling. Now my anxiety is through the roof. People will think it's my fault for getting a divorce. My business still hasn't returned to what it was in 2021 when I lost the first channel. And my husband no longer has a job, so all the financial burden is on me. This work environment is extremely precarious. It's one that you can't trust. And further, the one person that I trusted the most has single-handedly destroyed my belief in humanity. So my drinking has become a daily ritual. Once I'm done filming, I'm in my room alone. I don't want to make videos anymore, but now I'm chained to it. I'm clearly exhausted, and by 2025, I know that I need to make a drastic change. My hospital stay. I wasn't familiar with options, so I checked myself into a mental hospital. I'm not even kidding. I went to the Sacramento Behavioral Health Hospital. I'm actually going to check myself into a therapy clinic today, and it can be 7 to 10 days. I have no idea what's going to be expected of me. I'm heading down there in a couple hours. I'm excited, and yes, I am very nervous. I'm sure things will come up that I'm not ready to deal with. I'm sure I'll find out things about myself that maybe I didn't realize. But in the end, all these things are for my betterment and for the people around me. I'm 42 years old at this point, and I've lived an exceptional life. I feel that way for sure. But in doing so, I've also had a lot of things that have tackled my life, made my life harder, made my life frustrating. And I'm not alone in that. I know that lots of people have these struggles. Lots of people deal with emotions that feel too big. Sometimes my emotions just feel too big. So my goal is to go to this place, get tools, become more self-aware. And hopefully by doing this, at this middle point in my life, I can move forward with tools. I don't think any of us typically grow up with the tools that we need to handle some of these traumas. And especially if you're online, sometimes the traumas can seem very, very big and very, very embarrassing. And we're just not sometimes equipped to deal with these traumas. And I know that for myself. And so that's the reason I'm going to head into this facility. Now, I won't be able to film there. I've had to take out my laces. I've had to take out any lanyards in my sweats. They even say that I'm probably not allowed to bring skincare. All right, so here's what I'm packing for therapy camp, which is what I'm going to call this place. So I had to pull strings out of my sweats because you're not allowed to take anything with a string. You can't have laces. So a good thing I have these shoes. They say it's cold. I'm always cold anyway, so I'm just taking a lot of like layers, just sweats, jeans, lots of socks. They also said that you can't bring any food. So like I had to get rid of my food. I can't bring my protein shakes either. And they say that skincare is on a case-by-case basis. So I probably have brought, obviously, too much skincare, which is the story of my life as a person. I don't know if I'm allowed to bring this much toothbrush stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to bring like face wash. I mean, this is SPF. I mean, I really scaled back, deodorant, hair wash, shampoo, body lotion, and then some hair ties. So again, they might confiscate all this. They might pare me way down in clothing. I don't know.
So I've probably packed way too much. I'm sure they'll confiscate a lot of it, but that's okay because the program and the solutions I'm after are more important to me than not being able to do skincare this week or not being able to wear the clothes I want. And hopefully when I return, I'll be able to share with you guys insight and hopefully also dissuade anybody from thinking that mental wellness is something to not be tackled. I think that we've already flipped a corner in this realm where people feel more confident talking about mental wellness and focusing on it. But if you, for some reason, feel like, oh, that's only for crazy people, I hope that I share with you that it's not. And all of us can seem a little crazy at times, and that's just part of being human. And then part of also being human is finding the solutions so that you can live a healthy, productive life. And that's what I hope to share with you guys in this video.
Okay, so we're outside of this facility. I'm gonna go in. It's called the Sacramento Behavioral Health Care Hospital. It's like a full lockdown thing. And I know this is going to be good, but I'm a little nervous about it, honestly. I'm not 5150, so I'm allowed to leave whenever I want. And after 48 hours, I check myself out. It just wasn't the right fit, you guys. It was basically a mix of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Bird and Girl Interrupted. Everyone on my co-ed floor, yes, co-ed, they don't even separate you by gender, was a schizophrenic. My roommate was a schizophrenic. I would find her like on the floor in the middle of the night under a blanket. It was just really bizarre. The men there that were schizophrenic were big and they were like coming on to me and I just didn't feel safe. Of course, I'm the first one to admit that I needed help, but this just wasn't the right place for me. That doesn't mean that it's the wrong place for many people to get immediate help. It is a suicide watch hospital, and there they're giving out medications to stabilize mood. However, I was looking for intense therapy that I could get on an hourly basis. I had never been on any psych meds before, but while there, they gave me Abilify and Seroquel. These are both antipsychotics, and they help stabilize my mood so that not everything felt like a 10 for me. Some quick insight. The suicide rate in the United States continues to increase. Between 2000 and 2022, there was a 36% overall increase in suicide rates, with a 30% increase among males and a 48% increase among females. So I know I'm not alone in expressing the mental anguish that I was experiencing and how it was leading me to really dark places. So to aid my mental wellness journey in January, I decided to do brain spotting, which is something that helps you deal with PTSD. Because I love making YouTube videos, I really do, and I love this creative outlet. But I needed to feel safe here because I didn't want to quit. So this journey is continuing on, but I've broken it up into 2 videos so that each one isn't super long. In next week's video, I will tell you where I went for my month of mental healing and why this was a better fit for my needs in taking a social media detox, my mental health reset, residential therapy program, part 2. Lastly, I want to thank all of you and all of your kind words, especially on Instagram, for giving me so much love and support when I said I was checking out for the month. All of you who are in my app have been truly dear to me. Thank you for joining the Skin and Wellness app and for believing in our community. It's what keeps the lights on here, and I couldn't do it without you guys. In sharing videos, I found that you guys are really dear friends, and that's the reason I felt finally like I was able to share this with you. So I hope you look forward to next week's video because I think it'll give you a lot of insight into what I did, why it was drastic, and the reasons why it could be the right place for you too. Again, if someone you know is struggling with mental health, please consider reaching out to the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988 for immediate assistance. And I'll see you guys on the next video.